By sunrise, this dry little frame has water dripping from it. No pump, no battery, just $12 of plastic pipe, black mesh, and a container underneath. At midnight, the mesh feels useless. By dawn, it is colder than the air, and humid air leaves tiny droplets behind, like sweat on a cold glass. Dry places used tricks like this for generations. Most of us simply forgot how to look up. Here is the trick. The air is not empty. Even when it feels dry, it can still be carrying water vapor you cannot see. A cold soda can proves it. Set one outside on a warm day, and beads of water appear on the metal. The can did not leak. The surface got cold enough that invisible vapor changed back into liquid. That temperature is called the dew point. Fog harvesting works a little differently. Fog is already made of tiny liquid droplets floating through the air. A mesh net simply catches them, lets them merge, and guides them down into a gutter. People used both ideas long before plastic pipe existed. Dew ponds, stone piles, cloth nets, and cooled surfaces helped families and farmers collect water in harsh places. So the real question is not whether this works. It is how to build the cheapest version that still catches enough water to matter. Start with the frame. You need 4 short pieces of half-inch polyvinyl chloride pipe, 4 elbows, and 2 T's if you want legs. Salvaged pipe is fine if it is clean and not cracked. Budget about $3. For the catching surface, use fine mesh, shade cloth, or an old window screen. The tighter the weave, the more droplets it can grab, but air still has to pass through. That is usually $2 to $4 or free from a torn screen door. Fasten it with zip ties, add a short gutter, or split a scrap pipe lengthwise under the bottom edge. Run clear tubing from that gutter into a clean food-grade bottle or jug. That is the part people ruin by using dirty containers. The bare-bones build has no power, no Peltier cooler, no fan, and no moving parts. Just air, surface area, and gravity. If you can spend more, upgrade to stainless mesh, stronger stakes, or a first-stage sediment cloth. Dry fit the rectangle on the ground before you glue anything. A good starter size is about 2 feet wide and 3 feet tall, roughly poster-sized, because it is large enough to catch fog, but still easy to carry. Push the elbows onto the 4 corners, then check the frame for twist. If one corner rocks, rotate the pipes until it sits flat. Once the shape is square, mark the joints with a pen, pull them apart, and add a small amount of pipe cement. Work fast. That glue grabs in seconds. If you are adding legs, place a T on each lower side and slide in 2 short pipes. Angle them slightly backward so the collector leans into the wind like a signboard. In gusty areas, drill small holes near the feet and tie the frame to stakes, a fence, or a balcony rail. Keep the frame light but not flimsy. A loose rectangle will flex, and flexing makes the mesh go slack. The whole collector depends on tension, so this simple plastic skeleton has one job. Hold a flat surface steady while moving air does the work. Now comes the part that decides whether this thing works or just sits there looking clever. Put the mesh where damp air actually moves. Good spots are the edge of a garden, a tree line, the low side of a valley, near a pond or lake, or anywhere coastal air drifts through at night. Bad spots are sealed sheds, tight corners, garages, and still back patios where the air feels trapped. Lean the collector slightly backward or face it into the breeze. You are not trying to block the wind like a wall. You want moist air to brush through the mesh, so tiny droplets hit the strands, cling, join together, and finally run down into the gutter or bottle. Set it out before sunset. The best catch often happens after dark, when surface is cool, and again just before sunrise when fog forms low to the ground. And be honest about your climate. Dry inland air, hot nights, or dusty wind can cut the yield hard. Placement helps, but it cannot make moisture that is not there. Here is the honest payoff. On a dry night, this little panel might give you 2 or 3 tablespoons. Enough to prove the idea works, not enough to brag about. On a humid morning with dew everywhere, you may see a 1/4 cup, half a cup, maybe more if the mesh is wide and the air keeps moving. In real fog, a small homemade panel can collect a cup or two overnight. Bigger fog nets, the kind used in mountain villages and coastal deserts, can collect gallons because they have huge surface area and steady fog. Measure it the boring way. Pour the bottle into a kitchen measuring cup at sunrise, write down the weather, the wind, and where you placed it. After a week, you will know your yard better than any survival chart can tell you. Treat this as backup water, supplemental water, a quiet trick for damp nights, not a replacement for stored water in every climate. Before anyone drinks a drop, treat this like raw water from a puddle. That mesh caught dew, but it also caught dust, pollen, bird droppings, insects, and whatever was sitting inside the tube or bottle. Clear water is not clean water. Filtration removes grit. Disinfection deals with microbes. Here is the simple safety stack. First, pour the collected water through a clean cotton cloth or coffee filter to catch bugs and flakes. Next, run it through clean sand, or better, a small ceramic or activated carbon filter made for camping. A basic inline carbon filter can cost around $12, but make sure it is rated for water, not aquarium air. Then disinfect it. Boil it for 1 full minute. Use proper chlorine dosing from unscented household bleach, or run it through a real ultraviolet purifier. Do not guess with chemicals. Use food-grade bottles only. Wash the gutter, tubing, and container before testing. After a new setup, throw away the first dirty runoff. Now the system is not magic, it is just cautious. And now you know how to make it safer. Most failed collectors do not fail because the idea is bad. They fail because the build is lazy. Loose mesh flaps in the wind and sheds droplets. Stretch it tight. Flat gutters hold dirt. Give them a slight slope. Open buckets invite bugs, dust, and sunlight, so use a caped food-grade jug. For fog, keep air moving through the screen. For dew tests, add a dark backing or a shiny radiative cooling sheet behind it, but do not block airflow. And scale sideways. 3 small panels beat 1 overloaded panel. The upgrade is not expensive. It is knowing where the water was already hiding. Moist air, tight mesh or a cool sheet, a sloped channel, a clean jug, then filter and disinfect. That is the whole chain. Test it for 1 night. Measure honestly. Tell us your climate and yield in the comments. Thanks for watching. It will not solve every water problem, but now you know how.